Welcome to our low-carb travels. We are now here in Mactan, Cebu, in Mactan Wharf. And we have a very special guest, my good friend, Dr. Kenneth. Ano ba kayo second name? Kenneth Brian Redelosa Tan. Complete yun na. So, Dr. Tan, he is my good friend. We will talk about something else today. And of course, still low carb. Kasi marami sa inyo ang nagsasabing mahirap mawala yung old habits, and that old habit is usually eating unhealthy foods like junk foods and sweets. And may struggle ka bang ganon before or wala? Never ka na ganyan? Meron, pero hindi mo siya kino-consider na struggle.
Meron naman siguro, kalimutan ko na.
Pero somewhat, those are the unhealthy habits na we want to improve. So we will give you tips as to how to improve that. So tatlong tips lang. So we have to realize na those unhealthy habits are actually coming from one source or usual source, one reason. So unhealthy habits, usually stress eating. So the common trigger for people why they eat a lot and they choose to eat unhealthy foods is because they don't feel good to start with. So usually nasa-stress sila, na-stress sa work, yun yung pinaka-common, especially sa working class like ourselves, and also mga iba't ibang pangyayari sa buhay like disaster, loss of loved one. I think wala kang stress. May stress ka ba?
Meron din paminsan, pero I think isa ring reason yung nabobored ka. Yung wala kang magawa. Tama.
Yun. So, sa mga walang stress sa buhay, boredom. Tulad ni Dr. Tan na walang stress sa buhay. Kitang-kita naman, di ba? No stress at all. So, yung pagkawala pala ng stress is also stress. I also have a friend. Actually, recently, nagkausap kami. And may mga panahon daw na whenever he thinks like everything is doing well, parang nasi-stress siya. Ano ba to? Is parang too good to be true. Bakit wala akong pinoproblema? May ganyan kang times? Hindi mo siya pinoproblema?
Hindi ko rin na-realize.
But usually boredom. So boredom is actually one of the common reasons why people eat. Meron nga akong kasama sa work now na he is fond of eating sweets, pero sabi niya wala na daw siyang pleasure out of eating. Wala na rin siyang sensation na parang like nagkikrave, wala na rin. But it's just a habit na for him to just keep on eating foods. Like, mauubos niya ang whole set ng crunch na Nestle Crunch. Diba? 6 yun, usually. Mauubos niya daw yan in one sitting. And wala man lang pleasure. And I'm thinking, kung kakain ka na naman lang ng unhealthy foods, at least man lang, may pleasure ka naman sana. Tsaka wala. So, it's just out of habit. So, that's why we have to break that unhealthy habit. So, the first step in breaking an unhealthy habit is to recognize them. Kasi if we've lived for a long time na meron tayong mga nakasanayang mga habits, sometimes hindi na natin alam why we do what we do. So, bakit ka kumakain yan at that hour, at that time? Minsan, hindi na natin naisip why we do that. And that's why ang first step is to be conscious about it. You can put a note sa inyong phone, or kung manual kayo like myself, mas gusto ko pa rin yung mga nagsusulat-sulat. So you can actually bring a card with you anywhere, or mas handy ngayon yung phones, no? You're very sanay na din with phones, 'di ba? Making notes. Meron ka bang ganyan sa phone mo?
Yeah. My phone is actually
pen, note series.
Yeah.
For really. And then you do like handwriting strokes talaga, or still QWERTY?
Minsan pag trip
nagmamadali.
lang.
Trip lang. Okay. So, first step is to make a note. So, either mental note or physical note or digital note, whatever note you prefer. Okay? So, yung importance ng note is for us to be mindful. Dapat alam natin when are we having this trigger. So, every time you have that craving, you have that need, parang nafe-feel ninyo na parang gusto kong kumain ng ano ngayon, like for example ng french fries or ng chips or ng dessert, try to take note of that, na ngayong araw na ito at this time ay meron akong ganyang craving, and try to recall bakit ka nagkaroon ng ganyang craving, ano ang nangyari before that. So usually meron yung trigger. So for example, merong bad news sa workplace, or merong nagsabi ng something na unlikely, or something that made you feel unpleasant, or yung sinabi nga bored ka lang, wala ka nang magawa. So that is the cue. So you have to acknowledge kung ano yung trigger of those unhealthy habits, of those unpleasant behavior rather, para malaman natin. And you can do that in a week, for example, you can try to tally. So ngayon, since nagsisimula pa lang, we don't need to really do something about it right now, but at least recognize. We have to be mindful lang and acknowledge kung kailan yun nangyayari. So that's step number 1. Number 2, usually, kapag nangyayari yan, di ba, our usual routine, kain tayo agad ng mga unhealthy foods, and that is what we are trying to correct to make us feel better. Or kung sa board, para magkaroon siya ng gawin, para magkaroon ng saysay, yung time na yon of not
para
doing anything. Para may magawa lang. Exactly. So, yun yung kailangan nating i-address. Because actually, the reward will not change. You will still get out of boredom. You will still feel better. You will still feel relaxed. However, what we will change is just the behavior na ginagawa natin during that cue for that trigger. So, instead of unhealthy habits of eating junk foods, we can replace it with a better option. So, first, try to ask, baka hindi ka naman talaga gutom. And if you are really not hungry, so food actually is not the answer. Diba? So, what are the healthy habits na you can think of? Exercise?
Pwede, exercise.
Although it is also stress para sa iba, no? Pero say for example, you are really not aversive to exercise. Okay ka lang mag-exercise. You can actually do exercise. What else? Ano yung stress reliever mo?
Naghahanap ako ng babasahin.
Oh, something to read.
Yeah, something to read.
To get your mind off it. Oh.
Pag naboboard.
Kapag naboboard. So, that is good. So, reading, hindi ko naisip nga yan but that is actually good. And I actually do that na hindi ko lang namamalayan. Like, I always have a book with me, and actually, this topic is just coming from a book that I'm reading right now on, something about habits. Kasi 3 books sila about habits. Ito yung first na binasa ko about habits, and I'm sharing with you for you to also try to improve. And segue lang, sobrang ganda ng sunset, no? It's a good spot. Yeah. Galing namin maghanap,
bridge,
no? Oh, yan yung, yan?
Yung first
new
bridge.
Old bridge.
Second bridge.
Second bridge. Yung
Second,
old bridge, yung red?
Yes.
Wow. Grabe no, sobrang ganda.
Timing.
I think sa tagal ko sa Cebu before, ngayon ko pala nakita yung ganito kagandang sunset at nasa background din siya natin. So, yan. It's so nice. So, sana tayo. So, healthy habits. So, you can do exercise, you can also read, you can take a walk. So, actually, anything that can make you feel good. So, kung gamer ka, you can actually parang gawin mo yung time na yon to play games. Although, alam natin, sobra sa paglaro ng games is also not good. Something na kailangan din i-improve as a habit in the first place. Pero, the point is, you can replace it with a healthier routine. Something that is not damaging. Especially na alam natin that sugar, sweets, junk foods are actually really not healthy for our body. Hindi, temporary fix lang siya, but in the long run, it's not really helping you. What else that you can do? Ano pa ba? If you really feel na kailangan mo ng food, you can actually eat, but you can just choose healthier foods.
Yeah. Pwede. Usually, pag ako nagugutom, tapos, uminom lang ako ng tubig.
Oh, wow! That's really, really good. Because, marami kasing triggers sa atin. That's a really good point. Because, whenever we feel like we are hungry, 50% of the time, actually, we are just thirsty. Kaya nga lang, yung brain natin cannot differentiate between thirst and hunger. So, kung bago pa lang tayo and we are not that very aware sa mga sensations and triggers na signal na binibigay ng ating utak sa atin, going to our conscious brain, we can first address it by first drinking water dahil baka nga, uhaw ka lang. And then, moving on to that, after na, say for example, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, meron pa rin parang craving, hindi siya na-address ng water, you can actually do the salt fix. So, salt fix is just taking a pinch of salt and then or eat something salty that is not sweet, and usually it will curb your craving because wala talagang real need for junk foods and sugary foods. Hindi sila essential sa ating katawan. But what we need are electrolytes. And electrolytes, number one, na pinaka-importanting electrolytes that we need to replenish on a day-to-day basis is actually sodium, so salt. So salt fix is very important na meron ngang book na ang title niya ay Salt Fix. Ganon siya ka-importante. And also, what else? Others would include like talking to your friend or talking to someone that you know you love talking to. Can you think of other things na pwedeng i-replace as routine? Other than just give in lang sa unhealthy foods? Personally, yun na yung ginagawa mo, reading. Also, watching videos, better videos. Yeah, YouTube and TikTok. Maraming nagaganyan now, especially na wala nang parang yun na daw yung bagong replacement natin with TV.
Iniisip ko na kung may mga nakalimutan akong gawin sa work ba.
So you try to recall, try to be productive. Wow, grabe no, ibang grabe, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Grabe, parang nahihiya naman ako sa mga suggestions ko ng mga better choices, no? Kasi kain-kain lang, chill lang. Pero wow, that's really good. So actually, the best thing that you can replace an unhealthy habit is a habit that is going to improve you in the first place. So, another thing, meditation. Yeah, I also do meditation. For others, prayers. For others also, anything. So, yan, gagawin mo yung to-do list mo, i-check mo kung accomplished ka na ba in a day, or if there are any things that you can do, or baka meron kang project na always mong sineset aside. Maybe it's a time to do that. And after that one, the third part will fall. So again, the first one would be knowing the triggers, being conscious, being aware yung mga triggers na yon, and yung ating pinaka second part would be changing the routine. Instead of just giving in, na basta mag-give in na lang tayo sa ating craving for unhealthy eating, we can now go into healthy habits. Replaced it with a healthy habits. Yun lang naman talaga yung important. Yung one of the studies they saw na it worked kahit pa before, hindi pa siya scientifically na nakita nila why this works, is on Alcoholics Anonymous. Are you aware of AA? Usually yun sa US, in the USA, Alcoholics Anonymous has been very successful for many decades now. Sila yung nagtumutulong sa mga alcoholics. They know how to help them sustainably, and hindi siya na-explain noon ng scientific world, but now they already saw na yung pinaka-importante lang pala doon is to replace it with the right and better option. So going to meetings, yung AA meetings, talking to your sponsor, yung parang nag-aalalay sa'yo, and also just having a knowledge na pwede mong gawin yung iba. So being aware na eto yung mga trigger na yun. So the last part of our 3-step is actually the reward. So savor the reward. You savor that positive feeling. You do accomplishment for many. It could be, say for example, for weight. For example, you can see na nag-i-improve yung mukha mo in the mirror, your selfie is getting better, or people are complimenting you that you are looking better and good. And also, another thing for health naman, so the overall feeling of sense of wellness na kagandahan. Bonus, syempre, yung sa mga laboratories. Diba? So, objective yon.
Yun usually yung ako sa mga kakilala ko ba na nag-low carb at nagpa-fasting. Ang parang drive nila is nag-normalize
yung kanilang lab
for so long,
results.
marami silang ginagawa, nag-exercise, tapos walang changes. Nung sila, low carb at fasting, biglang nag-normalize. So parang miracle para sa kanila. Doon ako nasisiyahan pag nakikita ko yung mga mukha nila na
grabe nalalighten up and they're very happy. And one thing that I wonder lang before, like for example, sa mga marami nang mine-maintain na gamot, 'di ba? We usually think na kapag merong gamot, that is the need. Pero actually, maraming umiinom ng gamot na it's not really helping in the subjectively they don't feel like improving, and yung labs nila hindi rin nag-i-improve, and yet we are not actually even blaming the medicine. Parang wala lang, tinanggap lang natin na yung capacity ng medicine to improve is really only until that. Pero when we change nutrition with food intake, grabe yung
Grabe
improvement, no? Grabe.
Grabe yung healing ng katawan
Grabe
natin.
yung healing ng katawan, di ba? It's so amazing. That's why gustong-gusto ko. Meron ako mga friends na mga ganito. So, that one. So, you make sure that you have a reward, whatever that is. You reward yourself for something that you did. So, kahit ano pa yan. Like for me, symbolic, na-realize ko nga lang na after I do my gym, kasi hindi naman ako nag-gym before, di ba? Ngayon, nag-gym na ako pang, at saka kwentadong-kwentado yun. Like, dapat 5 repetitions. Sasabihin ni coach, o pang ilan na yan? Sabi ko, pang third. Sabi niya, hindi second. Hindi, third na. Yung hindi talaga pwedeng sumobra. Yung hindi, third na. 2 sets na lang yun. Tapos tinatawanan na lang niya ako. Hindi talaga pwedeng sumobra. Oh. And I realized na one of the rewards pala na unconsciously ginagawa ko is after going to the gym, I stay on a coffee shop and I read and I drink kombucha. So, parang yun mismo, kahit pa hindi siya ganun ka deliberate for me, but it's something that that became a routine for me na that instance, it was symbolic that I accomplished something. So, that sense of accomplishment is actually very, very important when it comes to improving our habits. And bonus, meron pang bonus yan because aside from recognizing na merong like problem that we have to improve at kung ano yung mga trigger na nagsisimula ng ating unhealthy habits, and then changing the routine, opting for better, healthier habits, and lastly, rewarding yourself, meron yung pinaka-bonus. And that is the importance of belief. Kailangan maniwala tayo. Maniwala tayo that it will work.
That's the first step, actually.
Yeah,
Kahit
actually. And also, that is why I think, no, sometimes it is already addressed na hindi lang natin namamalayan. And that is common among our viewers in our community in Life Without Rice and Low Carb Feasting and Fasting community. Because before, nung wala pa silang nakilala, and that's why we are also being loud and very vocal about this. Kasi nga, wala tayong nakikita before. Like ako, personally, wala akong kilalang tao before na nagpa-fasting. Yung alam ko lang, yung mga madre, yung mga pare, during Lenten season lang. But no normal person. Parang kapag nagpa-fasting ka, you are crazy. I think meron kaming
The
na-meet
Muslims.
before. Muslims also. Okay. Usually religious yung ating mindset when it comes to fasting. And so, although noon, pero hindi pa ako ganun ka-vocal about this, that's why I became vocal because seeing someone doing it and achieving it, it makes believing easy. So kung nakita mo na nag-improve yung iba na nagawa niya, if others can
May
do it.
May ebidensya na.
Yes, may ebidensya na. And meron palang like innate na competitiveness pala yung tao. Alam mo ba? Kasi like say for example, for the longest time hindi ko lang maalala kung ano yung like pinaka-figure talaga. So say for example, in a 100-meter run, yung world record before, for example, was 30 seconds. Yan. So for the longest time, for many decades, 30 seconds lang yung ano yan, yung kaniyang yung record holder. And then all of a sudden, nandyan si Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt yan.
Yung fastest runner. Bigla niyang na-break yung record na yun na very low. Like say for example, 20 seconds. And then, after na na-break na yun, sunod-sunod na. People are breaking it even lower and lower.
Because they are believing.
Because they believe na kaya pala. Once you see that an impossible is possible, then the possibility is limitless. So, sobrang amazing talaga yung magagawa natin. And that's why, with you have to start. Yun. First step, no? Believe in many things, hindi lang sa proper nutrition, hindi lang sa health, in anything that you want to achieve in your life. And I think right now, every time na meron tayong like gustong ma-achieve,
I think yun ang ginagawa ko.
and you can see it unfolding, no?
Yeah.
Like every day, nagiging totoo siya.
Kahit parang imposible siya. Just have to believe.
You just have to believe. Ganon ka-importante yung belief. So you believe in God, that God is there supporting you, or you also believe in yourself, your highest version of yourself. You believe in everything. You believe in whatever that it is there na alam mong posibleng mangyari. So,
Nabasa pala ako dun na regarding sa believe. Kailangan mo mag-believe kasi you will never do something that you don't believe in. So, it's parang
Yeah, that's why
Mentality
people
lang.
are also having this yo-yo na mga weight loss and mga like sa mga addictions like quitting smoking, quitting alcohol and many others because in the first place hindi sila naniniwala. They're just doing it for the sake of doing it, na pressure sila ng friends nila or meron silang nakitang na-ignite sila, but there is that doubt in their mind na baka hindi to mag-work sa akin. Baka nag-work lang to sa iba dahil iba sila. So, know that first step, ikaw muna yung dapat maniwala na eto ay possible. Yun yung the power of our mind, di ba? If you believe you can or if you believe you can't, you are correct.
Yeah.
You are right. So, might as well believe that you can and
Yeah.
believe that everything good and nice is possible. No?
Yeah, totoo.
So, yun lang. It's already done na yung ating sunset. This is so nice. I think babalik ako dito one time, another day again.
Di ko rin
This is
napansin
good,
to.
no?
Maganda pala dito.
Oo, maganda no. Alam ko, magde-date yan dito soon. So, yeah, this is a good place. So, bucket shrimp para naman mapasalamatan natin sila sa pagpapakyat natin nila sa atin
Mactan
dito in Mactan Wharf. So, it's just 5 minutes away from Mactan Airport. So, very, very easy. So, for those na going to Cebu na sunset, na which I didn't plan because I thought pagdating ko dito, gabi na. But to my surprise, meron pang sunset. And we went straight here and we are sharing with you our low carb and fasting knowledge and also the mindset to improve our lifestyle and also the view in Cebu, sunset view. Any last words?
Believe, yun lang.
Believe na. Actually, si Kentan yung isa sa pinakauna. Di ba? Yeah, yung believe. Di ba? Meron yung time na yun yung favorite
Yun yung
word mo.
talagang-
And
Yeah.
then favorite word mo until now.
Yeah, I think so. Yun yung nasa Facebook ko talaga, believe.
Basta meron yung time I think when you first parang really discovered it, parang yun yung buka ng
Parang
bibig mo.
naano,
Lahat
parang
na sinasabi
na-amaze
mo,
ako, ano ba to?
believe.
Med school
First
pa tayo
believe.
na.
Kailan yun? Matagal na yun?
Med school? Oh, internship siguro. Yeah.
Internship. So,
Last year of med school.
Last year of med school. Tagal-tagal na rin
May
yan.
nabasa
Oh my
kasi
God.
ako something.
Ano na yun? Ano yung year na yun? 2014.
2014, yeah, siguro.
Oh, wow, 8 years.
8 years na akong nagbi-believe.
Wow! 8 years na tayong naniniwala. So, kailangan lang maniwala. So, always believe and always believe in yourself. Always believe in something. Don't ever lose hope. Lahat po in the Philippines, usong-uso yan. And it's something that we can capitalize on. And as long as we are living, as long as buhay tayo, may pag-asa. And just continue to be positive and also be grateful. Magpasalamat on what we have and what we are about to achieve and receive. So, yun lang muna for now. This is Dr. Tan, my good friend. So, si Ken Tan, and this is still me. So, maraming salamat. I'll see you again in our next video. So, remember, as always, to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Bye!